What's up, everybody? Welcome to How to Play, a series focused on introducing you to the basics and oftentimes frustrating intricacies of modern gaming. I'm Donnie, the How To Gamer, and today we're going to take a look at Psychonauts 2. Psychonauts 2 is the latest release from the folks at Double Fine Entertainment. It is a 3D action platformer, and it is a long awaited sequel that many of us have been waiting many years for. So, with all the formalities out of the way, let's jump right into it. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the controls for Psychonauts. So, controls are fairly basic. You're going to have your classic jump and double jump. Jump is going to be activated by A, and then, of course, double jump is A again while you're in midair. You can hit it at either the peak or while you're descending at any point, while you're ascending at any point. So, really helps to kind of get you to higher places across bigger gaps and whatnot. Your X button, this is going to be for combat, so X, one time single swing. You can hit it multiple times for a combo. Your B button is going to be your dodge, and you're going to use that in conjunction with your left analog stick, so moving that in whichever direction along with the B button is going to get you your dodge. Your Y button is going to be how you interact. So you want to come up and talk to anybody, you'll press Y. We'll skip past that real quick so there's no spoilers or anything for you. Run back here to the center. Now we're going to move on to the D-pad. So this is where you're going to have access to your radio menu. Your radio menu is going to be all your powers that you've collected throughout the game, all your psychic powers. And you can only access, or I should say, equip 4 of these at once. And those are going to be mapped to your left and right trigger and your left and right bumper. You can see on the bottom left hand screen and right hand of the screen which ones I have assigned to which button. If you want to switch them out, so let's say I want telekinesis and I want that assigned to my right trigger, I'll just move up to telekinesis, press the right trigger, and it assigns it just like that. From there, D-pad down is how you're going to access health items that you have. Also, left and right on the D-pad do also have functions. However, they are not functions that are detrimental to the game. They are actually something that you may go the whole game without even acquiring the item to use those buttons, which is exactly what I did. I did not acquire those items the entire game. Finish the game. They're not anything that you need, so I'm actually going to leave those ones to you to find. So that way, you know, it's some discovery for you to still have. That basically wraps it up for controls. Let's see, only other thing I could think of, you press the right stick in to reorient your camera, and yeah, that's about it. All right, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the pause screen. Essentially, you're actually going to access it with the menu button, which is the on the Xbox controller. That is the 2 squares. This is going to be your notebook, and this is where you're going to get all sorts of information about things that you've done, what you've collected, your upgrades, pins, which you'll learn about. So we'll start here. The first is kind of the personal tab. Shows, you know, a picture of Raz. It does give you some information that is useful. So your rank. So right now I'm rank 64. You see your mental energy, which mental energy in this game is your life bar. Resources, which shows you your health items, psych cores, psych cards, all that. And then unique items. Unique items are basically items that are needed for story progression, essentially, or things that you're not going to run out of. I'll click on them, but I don't want to give you any spoilers, so wait, right bumper to go to the next tab. Now this is the one that you're probably going to find yourself on most often. This is your psychic powers. So as you can see, some of the early ones, melee, telekinesis, psi-blast, pyrokinesis, levitation, so on. You'll notice here on the right hand side of the page, after I select one of my powers, you'll notice there's 4 levels. These are levels of upgrades. You can upgrade each power up to 4 times, and this gives you extra abilities within each power. As you can see, like right here on telekinesis, I still have one that I haven't opened, which requires 5 stars or what's called intern credits. You'll use those, like I said, to upgrade. You'll earn intern credits by leveling up your rank. And this is where you're going to spend a lot of your time. Pins. So think of these as kind of like buffs for each one of your psychic powers, but also there are some that are just kind of random. So a VIP discount, the mental magnet, which dropped items will be drawn to you from a greater distance. Simultaneum. Titanium is dropped at double the rate. Titanium is what you use in the store to purchase. It's basically your currency. You can only have 3 pins equipped at a time. So you'll probably be switching these out pretty often dependent on the situation. I always recommend, if you are back in the atrium area of the game, essentially the hub, you want to assign basically your random ones. So you're getting more Titanium, the discounts at the automatic store. This way you're not losing out on any of those opportunities. I swapped them out pretty frequently, dependent on the situation of where I was in the game. This is going to be the map section, and shows you the places you visited, the brains you visited. You'll see some of them have a green check mark beside them. Those are ones that I've completed 100%. These fill in as you go through the game, so I won't stick on this page very long. And yeah, this makes it a lot easier to kind of see where you're going. You pick one of them, press A, and it'll give you a look at, so like on the brains, it shows you what you've collected in that brain. And the places, it actually brings up a map. It gives you all sorts of information. So right here, I have completed the game, so I have no critical missions, but this is your objectives page. This is where you're going to go if you say you forget what you were doing. Hop into your notebook, scroll over a few tabs to the compass, and there you go. The Compass Plus tab, this is your side missions. This is where any side missions you pick up from the other Psychonauts and other characters within the game, this is where they're going to go. And that wraps it up for the notebook. That's pretty much it. And yeah, so you're going to come here to the automatic, and this is going to be where you spend the Titanium. And as you can see in here, we'll go ahead and take a peek while we're in here. You have the combine section. This is where you take your Psi Core and Psi cards, and you're going to combine them, and that's going to increase your rank. You can use Titanium to purchase items. You can purchase Psi cores. You cannot purchase Psi cards, that at least not that I've had access to. There is still an empty box there. Not sure if there's anything supposed to be there, but you can get health items, increase your pouches. As you can see, this is something that I had made a focus, increasing the pouches for the Psi Pops, the Dream Fluffs, both of which are health items. Psi Pops give you a smaller amount, Dream Fluffs give you, I believe, almost full. Your wallet for more, being able to carry more titanium. You also have, this is where you access and buy pins. So the pins that I showed you in the notebook section, this is where you purchase them from and use your titanium. So again, using this trick that I just showed you with the atrium, it is very useful to kind of do some titanium farming through there and get as many of the pins as you can. Okay, so now we are going to cover just a few tips and tricks that I picked up along the way while playing Psychonauts 2. I want to kind of go into some different areas too and show you some things. But first off, the first thing I want to say is combat, as I kind of touched on earlier, especially in the early game, but really throughout the whole game, combat can get pretty hectic at times. So I strongly recommend going to your upgrades and focus on melee. Get that filled up as quick as possible. Get your dodges, your dodge attack, your base power up. Definitely focus on getting that one. That's going to help you a lot with the combat. And kind of dig through some of these and see, like, as you're playing and you see kind of what you're struggling with. A lot of these upgrades, you'll notice, or I'm sorry, a lot of these powers, you'll notice within the upgrades that it kind of will lead you to things that will help you with specifically with what you're struggling with. So another little tip that I would have for you, I would always recommend keeping the levitation psychic power. I would always recommend keeping it equipped. And for me personally, I always equip it to the left trigger. The reason why is levitation, it offers you a few things. So one, press it while we're on the ground, gives you the side ball. You can traverse quite a bit quicker. This helps out quite a bit getting you to and from. The other thing is, there's a lot of platforming involved in the game. The levitation gives you a float ability. This is going to come in handy all the time, literally all the time. The platforming in this game, this is coming from a longtime Nintendo fan. This is Nintendo levels of platforming in this game. It gets pretty intense at parts. Probably catch a lot of flack for that, which I get it. I'm a Nintendo fan myself, so. But Psychonauts deserves a place to be mentioned along with Nintendo. Double Fine did a fantastic job with this game. They did a fantastic job with the platforming. Some of it you'll come up through. It's basic and easy. Other times you're going to find yourself, falling quite a few times. So definitely get used to using levitation. Again, like I said, I recommend keeping it equipped all the time if possible. Keeping it to the left trigger. Let's get back out of there so that way there's nothing to potentially spoil for you. Just keep it equipped as often as possible. There may be some times where you'll find that you might need to unequip it, and I get that. I did a few times. But definitely that is something that is going to come into play quite often for you. All right, and now we are in the atrium, which is another part of the hub area, essentially. And there's something really cool in here that I want to show you. I did not notice right away in here, but that is the titanium. That is what you collect as your currency. There is quite a bit of it in this area. All you gotta do is kind of walk around, just look for the purple puffs, and you'll find them. Now, what's really nice about this is as I said, as you can see, there's quite a bit. But this tends to refresh and load more in very frequently. I do believe it is basically reloaded every time the game has a load screen, essentially. So let's go ahead, and it's also not just relegated to right here in the atrium. Let's go up here. And yeah, as we come in here, you can see plenty more plumes of purple smoke where you can find more Psychonium. The Psychonium is certainly a plenty in the atrium area. And again, like I said, it reloads very frequently. You go through a load screen, this has reloaded the Psychonium back into the game again. And that wraps up today's video. Just want to take a moment and thank everybody for coming to the channel, checking out this video on Psychonauts 2. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Psychonauts 2 is the most in-depth game with complex systems there is, but I wanted to kind of start off with something a little more basic, something to kind of get my feet wet again with this whole process. Not to mention, Psychonauts 2 is fantastic, and it really deserves more attention than what it's getting. And it's gotten pretty good attention, but I can't speak enough good things about this game. So, again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Please, if you enjoy this and you want to get more content on games and upcoming games and how to play them and all that great stuff, please make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.